Hello and welcome back to Knitting Nicely. I'm Danielle Chauvet, your knitting coach. Today we're going to learn how to do an attached I-cord, and I'm going to use the Gracie Bee blanket as an example.
Okay, so here we are at the end of the Gracie Bee baby blanket, and as you can see I only have 5 more stitches left on my needle. This is your size US 4 needle, and I've got my size US 6 double pointed needles ready, and I've got my charcoal yarn ready. And this is the point where we are going to start making an I-cord edging all the way around our blanket. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cast on 4 stitches onto one of your double pointed needles. So I'm just going to use the long tail cast on method. So I put a loop onto my needle, and then I use the tail to cast on. And I have another video that shows you how to do long tail cast on. You can watch that if you're unclear on how to do a long tail cast on. I'll drop the link in my description, but you can watch here too as well. So I go down, cross underneath the thumb, over the finger, and through the loop. You can see a little Z. I like to make that Z. So I go from the bottom of the Z to the top of the Z and through the loop. And I need one more. Bottom of the Z, top of the Z, through the loop. And I did just enough tail for that. Okay? So now I have 4 stitches on my double pointed needle. And now here's where we're going to start the I-cord. So I'm gonna shift all 4 of these stitches to the other end of my needle. And then I'm not gonna turn my needle at all. It's the same direction as it was before. This is where I ended. I'm just moving them across my needle. And then I pick up my other double pointed needle, and then I'm going to knit through 3 of these stitches. So I'm going to grab the yarn that's coming from my ball, and I'm going to knit through these first 3 stitches. So we've got, that one's kind of tight. Okay. I knit through 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now I'm going to move this stitch, this last stitch, onto my right needle. I'm just going to slip it purlwise. Okay. I'm going to put my double pointed needle down, pick up my needle that has these last 4 stitches on it, and I'm going to move this last stitch back over to this left needle. Okay, because I'm going to actually I'm going to knit both of these stitches together as one, but I'm going to go through the back loops. See? Now I'll knit through the back loops of both of those stitches together. Okay, so now I have, oops, I'm going to take those off there. Now I have 4 stitches again on my double pointed needle. And so now I'm going to move these down a little bit just so that they don't fall off this circular needle. And I'm going to move these 4 stitches back over to the end of my double pointed needle. And then I'm going to knit the first 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to slip this last stitch back, I'm going to slip this last stitch over to my right needle, put this needle, double pointed needle, down, and then come back to these last 4 stitches that are on my circular needle, move them to the end. Then I'll slip this last stitch back on to my circular needle, and then I'm going to knit through the back 2 stitches together as one. This is how we attach the I-cord onto the blanket. Okay, now I'm going to move these away from that end so they don't fall off. Move these to the other end of my double pointed needle. So I'm ready to do my I-cord again. Knit through 3. 1, 2, 3. Slip the last stitch, put your double pointed needle down, move your stitches, your live stitches back to the end of your circular needle, slip that last stitch back over to your circular needle and knit through the back loops. You're knitting through the back loop of your last stitch on your double pointed needle and your last stitch on your circular needle together. Okay, I'm just going to repeat that process until you have no more stitches left on your circular needle. So we're just going to knit 3, slip 1, needle down, get the live stitches ready, slip it back over, and knit through the back loops of both. Move that down so it doesn't fall off. Move these over. Do another row of I-cord. 1, 2, 3. Slip the last one, put your needle down, and here's the last live stitch from our blanket. Flip this one over, knit through the back, and now you have no more live stitches on the end of your blanket. And you've got a nice little I-cord going here. Now you have no more live stitches, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start picking up stitches from this slip stitch edge. Now if you look carefully, you can see on the edge that you've got this braid going. Get a pointer. You can see the little V stitches going here. Here's a V, here's a V, here's a V. So these V's of the chain, those are what you're going to be picking stitches up out of. And then we'll add them to our I-cord. Okay, so first we need to move these 4 stitches over to the end and begin our I-cord row. So we're going to knit 3, 2, 3, and then we're going to slip 1, yarn over, and then pick up and knit a stitch. So go through that V, pick up that stitch, and then you're going to put these 2 stitches. So this is the stitch you slipped and this is the yarn over. We're going to pick both of those up and slip them over the top of this one so that we end up with 4 stitches again on our double pointed needle. Then you're going to move all the stitches over to the other end and start another row of I-cord. Knit 3, slip 1, yarn over, pick up and knit. Then we're going to move these 2 stitches over the top of this one. Over the top. Whoop, that one came out. Gonna have to pick it up again. That sometimes happens. So move these 2 stitches. Make sure you get both of them over the top of this one. Like that. Now you have 4 stitches again. Now we're ready to do another row of I-cord. That's 1, 2, 3, slip 1, and we're slipping purlwise. So you just slip it right over to the other side, to the other needle. Yarn over, grab a new stitch, and slip these 2 over the top. Over, and we have 4 again. Now as you can see, my I-cord is going down the side of my blanket. Starting to go down the side of the blanket. And the reason why we do that little yarn over before we pick up another stitch is so that you won't see the yellow peeking through. If you skip that yarn over step, then you're going to start seeing some yellow from your blanket peeking through on that I-cord, and it has a nicer finish if that yellow yarn doesn't show through. And as you can see on the back, we have a nice little I-cord going here, and you'll see that as you keep on going, the I-cord is just a nice little edge on both sides of your blanket. Okay, so let's do a couple more, and then if you need to, you can rewind this video and watch it again as many times as you need to and work along with it. So we slip the stitches to this end, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, slip purlwise with the yarn in the back, yarn over, pick up a stitch. You see that V right there? V. You go through both strands of that V, pick up a stitch, and then slip these two over the top of this one. Get your needle in there and go over the top. Okay, let's do it one more time. Move these stitches to the other end of your needle. And this yarn back here, you don't need to pull it super tight. It'll work its way around as you are knitting these 3 stitches. But it does need to be snug, just not super tight. You bring it across those 4 stitches. Okay? And just give it a little bit of a tug there, but not super tight. And then 1, 2, 3, slip, yarn over, find the little V, which is right here, go through the front to the back, pick up that stitch, put these 2 stitches over the top of this one, over the top, boink, and you're back to 4 stitches. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. And as you're working around your blanket, your I-cord is going all the way around the edge. You can keep on going with that knit 3 and then pick up, and then slip 1, yarn over, and then pick up 1 and then slip stitches over. Keep on doing that all the way around the edge. When you come to a corner, be sure to pick up and knit 2 in each V for 3 stitches around that corner. So you'll find the center of your corner, and then 1 stitch before that, you're going to pick up 2 stitches as you go along. So you see, your 3 stitches. This stitch, you'll pick up and knit that one, and then you'll do your I-cord row again, and then you'll pick up and knit that same stitch again, and then do your I-cord. Then you'll come to the next stitch, pick up and knit. Then you'll do another row of I-cord and pick up and knit in that same corner stitch. And then in the 3rd stitch, you'll pick up and knit that one once, come back over and do your row again and pick up and knit in that same 3rd stitch again. So you'll end up with 6 stitches in the corner, or 6 rows of I-cord in the corner instead of just 3 rows of I-cord in each corner. That way your work won't be pulled tight in that corner. It'll make a nice little corner.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the description below so you can find links on how to do that long tail cast on that we talked about at the beginning of this video, as well as links on how to graft the end of your I-cord to the beginning of your I-cord for a nice finished look, and also for links on how to create this cute little Gracie Bee blanket. If you enjoy watching Knitting Nicely, be sure to subscribe so that you can get updates whenever I make a new video. Happy knitting!